Rangers, welcome to Geek Chess. My name's Steve, and today I'm planning on doing some special reviews for the month of October because it's Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year. So I figure I'm going to try to do each Friday because we're going to be doing each Friday as a Friday the 13th theme. Doing special, like, spooky reviews, if you will. But as you guys can see, I got some stuff back here working on things because I do a Halloween camping trip once a year, which this year we're dressing up the campground with Friday the 13th theme stuff. So, dude with the axe's head, girl with the harpoon in her eye. This one's gonna have the fork in his stomach. I gotta still dress him up. But anyways, today I was planning on going over, because I have been using these quite often for my Jason cosplays, and I was gonna show you both versions of them. Problem is, I just realized I had this one sitting on my review table over there, and something got on it and put some holes in it. So I'm super sad right now. Not sure what it is, but whatever it is, melts in my plastic, melts in the mask a little. So. Got to get a new one of these, but thank God these are actually fairly expensive. I think this one runs about 30 bucks. So, anyways, hold on a second. I guess we'll be going over my new one that I just got. I got this one for doing the Part 3 Jason, which is what I'll be using at the campground. Was going to try to get an actual like movie replica version, but didn't really want to spend that much money on it, at least as of right now. And since it's not like a convention where I'm going to get scrutinized a lot over it, I figured this would work really good. So we'll go over this one and kind of determine if this is worth the purchase. If I remember right, this is about 35 bucks plus like a few extra bucks shipping, which is fairly reasonable for a latex mask. Man, I'm just so bummed about that one. Granted, I wasn't wearing the Freddy vs. Jason outfit anytime soon, because it was like, just wore that thing like maybe a week ago I put it on, because I put it on when I got this because it felt thicker. Which, actually, I could just get them out. This one actually is a thicker mask. Because I was like, man, this one always seemed like it was harder to get on. Because it is. But, one thing I was thinking, well, I guess it is a little, it's a slightly bigger. This one's a slightly more elongated mask, which I kind of like because it kind of tucked under the shirt a little bit better, which is what you want. You don't want the mask to be like peeking through while you're wearing your clothing. So, love that thing. This one, on the other hand, like I just mentioned, it's a little bit thicker latex, but detailing wise, as you guys can see for the front of the mask, it has this black ring for reasons. Not quite certain what they're really going for this. Probably shadowing, I would think, because this is where your mask is going to sit over top of it. But for the rest of it, you got the blood effect here, where it's kind of like the mask and the straps are kind of tearing into the skin. But you don't get it on the top section. Like you think it would come all the way to the front and the back, because you have the top crease as well. This doesn't have it, and then you get some gnashes on the latex mask bottom. Get some more gnashings, which for me this sort of works if you guys are trying to replicate the Part 3. Like, it's not perfectly, it's not super deformed, it's more just still very just normal like bald person cap, but with just some blood damages. And then you got the wrinkling texturing to the skin here. Also very open back. What I did on my previous one, keep this closed while I was wearing it. I don't know if I'll be able to do it on this one to the same effect, but I just put some sticky straps. So actually, I can just show you. I just use Velcro. So when you get it on, you just have someone help you with it, but you can line it up, and it kind of helps to hide the seam a little bit better while you're wearing it anyway, so you're not walking around and it's flopping all over the place. But I'm going to have to redo all that. Stupid mask. God, I'm going to know what it is now. Might have been paint thinner. Maybe. I have to reevaluate what's on my desk right now. But other than that, skin tone's actually pretty nice in person. The blood effects fairly mild. Like you get a little bit of gore, but for the most of the part, a lot of the blood here is just reds and blacks. So there isn't too much depth to the variety and coloring. But again, for the most part, if you're just looking for something that will just sort of work as a Jason mask, I think this will fairly do the trick for you in terms of appearance. Especially, it'll give you a little bit more of like the horror aspect. Especially if you're going for like a part 4, if you will. Like if you have the cracked mat, like the mask with the crack from the axe on the top there. This actually do really nicely. And even part 3, I don't think it's too construed. But we'll bust out the costume here in a minute. But how you get this guy on before, well, I guess I could put the costume on and then we'll do that right back. Alright, for the purposes of this video, I'm not putting on the pants currently. Maybe like I'll do like full shot, but for the most part, this is really what you guys need to see. It's just a flizzy. I believe this is a Wrangler's. Got it at Walmart. It's just a Wrangler olive work shirt, which looks pretty good for the film. The only thing really is it has these on here. The gray on the under section. If you really want to get super nitpicky, you could just snip the strings here, get those off, and then pretty sure this will pop off with it. But this is mainly just to kind of make the collar thicker, but you don't, for film accuracy, you don't need it, but still works. Because I think this was like 15-ish bucks. Just add a little discoloring to it, some blood effects, nothing too crazy. Basic white shirt underneath. But how you get this guy on? Pretty simple. The other one's a little bit harder. It's actually kind of grosser, if you will. When you want to get this on, it's easier the more you've worn it, because sweat builds up and it gets slick. So one thing with these, they get warm. They get really warm fairly quick. Like that one I wore around Motor City Comic Con for, I'd say, about an hour before I had to go outside and drain it, if you will. Because with these, sweat starts actually getting built up, like especially around like the mouth area and the ear section here, which it does have some holes for a little bit of air to kind of flow into, but for the most part it doesn't really do the job much. But anyways, just grab the back of the mask and you just kind of put your head into it. Stretches a bit. Nice thing about it being actually not as thick as the other one is actually it's fairly pliable. The thing you gotta be careful though with on the back here, you don't want to pull open too much because you can tear it upwards, is the thing to be concerned about. But then you just take your excess skin, tuck it under your shirt, good to go. Now you look like Roy. Which could work for that outfit too, you know, because you already got the open face. That's pretty sweet. But for the most part, I think the front here is the part you're going to be concerned about if you're going to be wanting to use this for cosplaying, because you kind of, for me, if you keep yourself like slightly hunched down, you'll feel it touch the base of your collarbone here. That's kind of where you want to be with it. So you're not worrying about it popping out of your shirt anyways. You could always use a tighter knit shirt around here, or even pin the back of it so it's a little tighter on you, but then it's not quite movie correct. So for the most part, you just want to stay hunched over. You guys are going to be wearing it. It's already getting fairly warm in here. But I do have studio lighting on throughout here. But let me go grab the NECA mask, pop it on so you guys get the full look. Hey, got NECA Part 3 mask. Put it on. Oh. One thing is like, especially with the straps, they kind of, everything echoes on the inside of here, where the ears are. But for the most part, what's nice too is because where the skin is, you can kind of feel where your straps are supposed to sit, which is nice. So, trying to check it out, but I think that looks good. It's a little hard to tell, but fits pretty nicely. Like, I'm a fairly big dude, so it's a little, definitely snug on here. I like too that you don't really see any of the cuts from the front of the mask peeking out on the sides here, which is very nice to see. What I'm talking about is this section here, like none of this is going to show up while you're wearing the mask. One thing I like about wearing this too is I don't have to shave or anything, and it's more breathable, because you can do like the full Jason mask where it goes over front of your face. I don't really like those, because again, I like to breathe, and then doing that you have limited air breath, airspace, plus you're wearing this also hinders your air. So usually for me personally, I recommend having the open cut face, but looks pretty spiffy. It's not the most flexible thing. Again, one thing is like the longer you wear it, the warmer it gets, and then the more flexible it'll be. When it's initially cold, it's definitely a lot more rigid. But again, you want to make sure you're kind of keeping your neck down, and you don't really want to rotate too much with this outfit. So you don't want to be like turning around, because that's just going to start fudging up the placement. So you kind of want to move your shoulders when you're looking at it. But personally, I think this actually works pretty nice, especially for the price point. Does its job nicely. And again, if you guys are worried about the back kind of looking fugly, which I just realized is peeking out a little bit. Again, I use the Velcro. I think is pretty simple to do. It doesn't really hurt the mask all that much. But yeah, oh, you already tell I'm fairly red wearing this. Obviously, it's supposed to be fairly cool out while I'm out there. So, but yeah, you gotta. Don't know if you guys can tell, but one thing with these, you already kind of see it's a little wet in there. It's definitely warm. But yeah, if you guys are in the Jason cosplaying and want to save a little bit of money and not buy the super expensive hoods, like for conventions, I would recommend those, because for those you want to be a little bit more screen accurate as possible. But for just like random costuming, Halloween fun, this will do the job great. You can find it on Amazon. I'll have a link in the description below if you guys want to pick up this one in particular, or the other one. I guess I could briefly go over it. I can't put it on because of the damage, because it's literally like melting. But it's just a darker skin tone, has the same overall design, but this one works really, really nice with the Freddy vs. Jason outfit, because it even got like a little bit of the hair on it too, and what have you. Like this one, I really enjoyed for that one. Then it was also nice too that it was a little more elongated on the bottom, so it really stayed in the outfit really nicely. And because it's thicker too, you don't have to really worry about it flexing as much. So this guy, really, really loved this one. I'm gonna have to reorder it once I get probably payday. So I feel like I definitely need to have one of these. I'll probably need to store it a little better too than I had it. I think it was sitting on top of Mechagodzilla's head over there for a bit. Probably should get an actual mannequin and stick it on the wall. But anyways, help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. Got a Pinterest, Instagram, Patreon, and Facebook if you guys like to keep up to date with the channel. And donate, greatly would appreciate it. And, well, I think in the next video is going to be the NECA Part 3 Jason. Because now that I gotta order a mask, Freddy vs. Jason's gonna have to wait for a minute. But so look forward to that probably next Friday. If not, then we're gonna be doing mask comparisons. But see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.